My name is Joseph Kopser and I'm joined by Brett Boyd. For this latest Gray Line web series video, we're talking about technology and some of the exciting new technologies that we see that serve as a catalyst to increase the rate of change in society that has an impact both on companies and the public sector in a way that we think you need to understand more about. And they cover a wide range. It's about blockchain and the future of commerce and understanding and savings and memory itself. It covers things like augmented reality, how we're going to be able to use tools to visualize new ways of learning and new ways of work that right now we haven't explored, or it could even be in the bio and health sciences. What does it mean when we're actually able to change DNA? Will we be living longer? Will we be living forever? These are the kind of technologies that at Gray Line we want to dive deep into to be able to better understand. And so, Brett, what's going on in some of these new and emerging technologies that we're looking at?
Yeah, look, it's important to talk about technology broadly and to frame how we think about this. Because again, technology permeates everything we look at. And if this is one of your first videos, welcome. If you've listened to any of our other videos, you also know that tech is embedded in the transformation of cities and work and power and manufacturing. But what we've tried to do here is again, it's a real challenge that we appreciate to look at the media, look at the news environment of, this is being developed and this is being developed, and really understand which are incremental improvements, the iPhone 8 as opposed to the iPhone 7, and which are like, that's a new iPhone that's going to spawn an ecosystem of applications and is going to create a new software layer for different companies.
Because it took something like a phone and a camera and a music device and put them all together in one.
Sure, and it negatively impacted the flashlight business, which if you told me you predicted that, I think I would not believe you 5 to 10 years ago. But so what we're trying to do is, again, identify these truly transformational developments in context of our model. So we have a model where we look at these things and we look at the speed, we look at the magnitude, we look at the potential impact, both economic to industry and to the public sector. And the areas that we're focused on right now, again, as you mentioned, we can go through them maybe in a little bit more detail on a one-to-one basis, but augmented reality is one of them. And so to start there, as we look at this technology, virtual reality is getting most of the venture capital investment right now. And I think a lot of the virtual reality applications are really interesting around media and entertainment and some of these different applications. But when I think about...
And to be clear, virtual reality is where you're in a whole different world.
Yep.
When you're looking out. But augmented reality is you're looking at your current world and more things are put into your line of sight.
Absolutely. And think about this as the Internet of Things is essentially sensors that bring digital information out of the real world. Augmented reality puts digital information back into the real world. And the applications, this Google Glass is kind of the famous initial application, but there are some fascinating business applications here of workers on high-tech equipment. I mean, imagine a worker that's at the top of a wind turbine, which is a reasonably complicated piece of equipment that's kind of hard to get to, if you think of some of these large ones, where previously you had to have a true expert at some high level of training be the one up there because they were going to essentially be on an island and have to figure out how to solve whatever problem occurred. What if you now have an experience where there's actually a master technician who is seeing through the augmented reality platform and saying, no, go here or go there. Or imagine if you actually look at the object and the instruction manual comes up or something like that. So the industry applications are very interesting. And then again, the interpersonal interactions. I mean, what does it mean when I look at you and I see your LinkedIn profile or your Twitter feed or your criminal record or whatever? I mean, these are very, very interesting developments that, again, we anticipate will span a whole application layer that hits retail, that hits work, that cuts across all of these different areas.
Yeah, and to stay on the idea of augmented reality, what we do at Gray Line is make sure that you see that it's not only an impact on private sector, but it's an impact on public sector at the same time. So continuing your example, if you are able to have augmented reality that puts this information before you, then you have, as a society, real issues about privacy. Mm-hmm. What are the things that we want people to be allow them to see in terms of restaurants, like menus, but do we want them to also see ratings and health inspections? There comes a certain point where we need to decide what is good for consumers and what is good for privacy. And I think that extends in all aspects of
Absolutely.
it. And then you could look at the idea of workers as example of the worker up on the top of a wind turbine. Is it long-term good or bad that we'll have less need for skill training or more need for skill training, and how does augmented reality fit into that? And so if you understand what's happening and you are seeing these different data points, you're seeing these different trends, things that we help people figure out, then you're able to decide as an organization if you're going to do something about it. So first you saw the change, then you decide if you're going to do something about it. And then at Grayline, what we're trying to help you do is figure out how you're going to execute whatever it is that you've decided to do. And so in all these technology sectors, from blockchain to augmented reality and bioscience, they're all occurring very quickly. We encourage you to check out more videos on the Grayline website where we go into them in more detail and then help you and your organization decide what it is, if any, you might do to change. So thank you for tuning in. Please check out more of our website videos and give us your feedback as we go forward. Thank you very much.